Cardi B has been one of the most controversial female rappers in the mainstream for some time. Known for her bold, unapologetic, and often problematic behavior, she's found herself in hot water on numerous occasions, however. In this video, we'll be diving into some of Cardi B's most talked about and controversial moments. Let's begin with the first one you probably already know about. Cardi B's admission to robbing and drugging men. So essentially, Cardi B was doing this Instagram live years ago where she appeared to be very frustrated and she was venting to her fans, right? And in the heat of the moment, in a moment of revelation, she revealed that she used to take advantage of others, specifically men, in the worst way possible. We're talking luring these men to her hotel room after she seen that they wanted to have intercourse with her. As soon as they got to the hotel, she gave them some type of drug, and as they were passed out, she robbed them of their valuables.
You gotta go to a good studio and you gotta put in that bread. I did it with my money. So for to say that I don't fucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work. Now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. I must have forgot the shit that I did to survive. Like I had to go straight. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I robbed them. That's what I used to do. Nothing was handed to me, nothing.
So maybe things don't have to be handed to you when you're robbing and drugging men, other people, right? In the video you saw, she was speaking about how she got it out the mud. The only sad part is, she wasn't just talking about her time as a stripper, because that's how Cardi B first started making her money, or should I say shmoney. And then she used that money she made as a stripper and invested it into her music career. We're talking about some R. Kelly type of things here. As a matter of fact, surviving Cardi B became a hashtag back then. This revelation quickly made headlines and became a massive story. It sparked heated debates across social media and news outlets. Now, the reaction wasn't actually swayed in the direction you would think, because you'd think that everyone would be condemning her actions, kind of like Diddy, right? The general consensus is that he is in fact no different from the gum at the bottom of my shoe. And I hope you think that's the case with Diddy. For this particular story, although Cardi B received a lot of backlash, she also received more support than you would think, which is crazy to say. That included from fans, but also people with platforms. Shara7 was one of them actually who supported her during this time. If you guys don't know who Shara7 is, she's a female dating coach. I'm not going to say that she's like the female Andrew Tate because, who the can live up to that title. But she essentially encourages women to, take advantage of men and get what they want. Not take advantage in the way that Cardi B does it, but more like, hey, you want to get this, ladies? Go and get this shit. Like specifically from men. That's what her platform is about. But overall, she's a female dating coach. I don't agree with her content, but with all these male podcasts that exist now where they teach men how to be shitty human beings, I'm not even going to say anything about Shara7. It is what it is. She exists for a reason, right? But she was someone who actually showed her support for Cardi B during this controversy.
I don't feel like what she did was wrong. First of all, she was probably in survival mode. How she, was a victim of abuse and had to become to provide and, survive and things like that. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be doing those things today. I feel like those were something, that was something she did to survive.
One of the main reasons this story gained so much attention was the glaring double standard it exposed. Many argue that if the roles were reversed and a male celebrity had admitted to similar behavior, the backlash would have been far more severe. And by the way, they obviously should, man or woman. If you're taking advantage of other human beings in this way, you deserve the absolute worst. Now, Cardi B ended up responding to the backlash by saying the following. So I'm seeing on social media that a live I did 3 years ago has popped back up. A live where I talked about things that had to do in my past, right or wrong, that I felt needed to make a living. I never claimed to be perfect or come from a perfect world, but a perfect past. I always speak my truth. I always own my shit. I'm a part of hip-hop culture where I can talk about where you come from, talk about the wrong things you had to do to get where you are. There are rappers that glorify murder, violence, drugs, and robbing, crimes they feel they had to do to survive. I never glorified the things I brought up in that live. I never even put those things in my music because I'm not proud of it, and I feel a responsibility not to glorify it. I made the choices that I did at the time because I had very limited options. I was blessed to have been able to rise from that, but so many women have not. Whether or not they're poor choices, at the time I did what I had to do to survive. The men I spoke about in my live were men that I dated, that I was involved with, men that were conscious, willing, and aware. I have a past that I can't change. We all do. She also went on an Instagram live rant responding to the backlash.
Secondly, everybody always trying to make excuse of me. Always everything. Cardi this, Cardi that. Cardi's a terrible person. Let me tell you something. I'm a rapper. I'm a bitch that came from the streets. that came to the industry. I wasn't a Disney Channel star. I wasn't a nun. I wasn't a saint. I never was a saint. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm a good-hearted person, but I have done fucked up shit. And y'all don't gotta worry about it. Y'all don't gotta tell my story. Y'all wanna know why y'all don't gotta tell my story? Because I'm gonna write a book about my life. I've been through a lot of shit. I've been a bitch that from young being in the streets. I got influenced by the streets.
Now, a lot didn't actually come from this entire story. Crazy to say, but Cardi B became an even bigger name after this. Just a month before the clip surfaced, Cardi won a Grammy for the best rap album for Invasion of Privacy, and she overall was seeing a lot of success despite this moment right here. I'll be honest to say that I was surprised to see that she was able to put this behind her. I think part of the reason why it didn't affect her image though in the mainstream is that because number one, she is a woman. It is a double standard, we have to admit, okay? I'm sure even the ladies would agree with this. And number dos, right? She's done so much shit to the point where this became just another controversial moment in the sea of things Cardi B has done. And also, too, Cardi B has never portrayed herself as this angelic, politically correct celebrity. She said so many things in the past and just acted in so many different types of ways that make other people look at her like, what the fuck is this bitch on, right? Not calling her, I'm just using it as an expression. But you get what I'm saying. Cardi B has been far from a politically correct artist, right? She's one of those celebrities who she literally doesn't care. And I'm sure if you follow on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about because she be talking a lot on Twitter. And low-key, there's an angle of this I want to explore, which is this could have actually been a strategic move on her end. I'm not sure if she randomly brought this up because her emotions got the best of her. It could be, but maybe it was a PR move because they knew that this clip was out there and it was eventually going to surface at some point. So she did what we call controlling the narrative mixed with some damage control. If that was the case, pretty smart, because I'd imagine if this clip surfaced, let's say, today, the backlash might have been more intense, or maybe not. What do you think? Now, controversy number 2 is when Cardi B said that she doesn't care about lyrics and that she only makes music for shmoney. A few years ago, Cardi B did this Instagram live and she was once again yapping to her fans. And Cardi B said something that got her in hot water. Cardi B essentially made it clear that she doesn't give a fuck about the art form of music, and that the only reason why she's making it is because she's trying to get rich and make hits.
I like to make hits. I like to make money. I don't really give a about being lyrical. I don't about this and that. If that's for me, I don't care. I like to make that's gonna make me money. I like to make that's gonna climb me on the charts. Like, that's what I want. I want to be up top of the charts. I want to make money. I don't care about none of that. I know so many lyrical people.
Now, the timing of this was kind of funny because this was around the time when Cardi B started to get put in the conversation of the, best female rappers, alongside people like Nicki Minaj, who had already put in like 10 years in the industry and in the mainstream by the time Cardi B blew up. So Cardi B during this time was extremely hot. She was fresh off of her first and only debut studio album, Invasion of Privacy. She was getting a lot of press during this time, and Bodak Yellow was still climbing the charts. By the way, isn't it crazy how Cardi B got a hit through plagiarizing an entire song? I'm talking about No Flockin' by Kodak Black, which Cardi B literally stole the entire rhyme scheme from that song and made it her own.
I got old cash, spazzing on their ass. I got products on my whole ass. Got my lab one man.
You can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is blood.
So yeah, a person who's considered one of the better female rappers by the mainstream admits that she doesn't even care about music like that and that she's in it strictly for the money. Now, Cardi B did get a lot of backlash for what she said, but it was just a drop in the ocean of controversy she's been in. People did use this as a way to discredit her as an artist, which I personally don't think is wrong, because if you don't even care about the art form, it's kind of hard to put you in a conversation with people like Nicki Minaj, who's literally been breathing, eating, and sleeping music, but specifically rap music for the majority, her entire career. Nicki is a rapper's rapper. Cardi B has always came across as a hustler to me. She has her hand in so many different things, and to give her credit, Cardi B is rich as F. She actually revealed last year that she spends about $3 million a month. I don't know how true that is. And by the way, this is strictly her bills. That's what she said, right? Because $3 million a month, that would be $36 million a year for what? I don't really have a clue, but maybe you can call it lifestyle inflation, which is a very real thing, or lifestyle creep, I think they call it. But Cardi B has been very open about the fact that music is nothing but a hustle for her. So to hear her say this, I'm honestly really not that surprised. Speaking of that, let's move on to the next one, which is actually connected to this one, and that is when she got exposed for having a ghostwriter, or some people would call it a co-writer, but whatever you want to call it. Back in 2018, Cardi B, similar to Drake in 2015, got caught up in a ghostwriting scandal. A clip ended up surfacing of a reference track from a writer in the music industry by the name of Partisan Fontaine. And this is the guy who was dating Megan Thee Stallion back in the day, right? I think they might have broken up like a year ago or something like that. I don't really follow celebrity relationships like that, so I'm not sure. Now, you could clearly hear that the words on this reference track matched the song Be Careful, which is on her 2018 album.
Man, I thought you would've learned your lesson about liking pictures, not returning texts.
Now, this ended up making the headlines big time because, kind of going back to what we spoke on earlier, a lot of people were trying to put her alongside Nicki, and then this ended up happening and people ended up regretting it. Now, Cardi B ended up denying the rumors by saying the following: I do write a lot of my shit, and that's the thing. Yes, just like every other artist, I do have a couple writers that help me with hooks, but I wrote plenty of songs on my album, specifically mixtape. Y'all just flip shit, and y'all want to believe the F shit so bad, but eat it up. That was already too late though, because people had already made up their mind. This is something that would make sense. I mean, someone who views music as a hustle is bound to cut corners to get those big hits. Obviously, Cardi B is just not as invested in the craft of music as much as other artists, which is the same reason why a lot of people refuse to rate Cardi B as a rapper. No matter what Cardi B does, I actually don't think she's ever going to be a respectable name across the board. So much of why she's in the position she's in is because she's a great entertainer. That's what Cardi B is good at. And also, anyone who's done research on Cardi B, you're going to realize that she has really excellent networking skills. From what I've heard behind the scenes, Cardi B is very good with people, which is why she's been able to climb and make so many moves in her career. Now, her character, to me, based on what she's shown, she doesn't seem like that good of a person to me. Of course, I don't really know Cardi B. I'm just basing it off of what I've seen, okay? It's funny though, because Cardi B doesn't really need to be respected to stay on that pedestal that she's on. Now, my personal theory on why the industry promoted Cardi B so much is because they wanted to open the door for mediocrity in general. Because when you have someone who's open about the fact that they view music as a money-making tool, and that they don't write their songs, and that they just don't care about the art form of music, and this person is being compared to artists who actually live this, like for real live this, that kind of just goes to show that anything is possible. As long as you have a name, as long as you know how to network, as long as you know how to entertain the masses, you're not really going to have a hard time reaching the top. And of course, you got to have a really good team as well, which Cardi B obviously does. Number 4 on Cardi B's most controversial moments is a compilation of the assaults she's been involved in over the years, starting with the strip club assault. In 2018, the then 25-year-old Bronx rapper, born Belcalis Almanzar, turned herself into the authorities and was charged with assault and reckless endangerment stemming from the incident. The fight occurred at Angel Strip Club in Queens on August 15, where Cardi B allegedly confronted 2 bartenders, who happened to be sisters. The feud reportedly began because Cardi B accused one of the women of having an affair with her then husband, Offset, from the rap group Migos. Though Cardi B didn't physically attack the bartenders herself, members of her entourage, including her bodyguards, were accused of throwing bottles and chairs at the sisters, causing injuries. This led to Cardi B being charged with 1 count of assault and 2 counts of reckless endangerment, both being misdemeanors. On October 1st of that year, Cardi B surrendered to the police station in Queens. After being escorted out by security, she waved at fans but avoided answering questions from reporters. Her lawyer, Jeff Kern, denied any evidence that Cardi directly harmed anyone, adding that this was her first arrest in New York. However, the bartender's lawyers, Joseph Tacopina, claimed otherwise, accusing Cardi B of orchestrating the attack and even bragging about it on social media. Apparently, she thinks her celebrity status puts her above the law, their lawyers said in a statement, adding, but reality is setting in. Now, this case attracted significant media attention, with fans either defending Cardi's actions as retaliation for a betrayal or condemning her for abusing her influence and status. In the end, the controversy added another layer to Cardi B's polarizing reputation. Let's move on to one of the more overlooked moments in Cardi B's controversial career, a lawsuit filed against her for which is another assault, in the form of a lawsuit filed against her for an alleged assault back in 2018. The situation involved a woman named Imani Ellis, a security guard who claimed Cardi B assaulted her in a Beverly Hills medical building. According to Ellis, Cardi not only struck her in the face and body but also spit on her and used racial slurs during the altercation. The incident allegedly happened on February 24, 2018, when Cardi B was about 4 months pregnant with her daughter, Culture. Now here's where things got messy. Ellis, the woman, she filed a lawsuit almost 2 years later in February 2020, alleging malicious intent on Cardi B's part. But as you'd expect, Cardi didn't stay silent. She took it to social media to clear the air, and let's just say that she didn't hold back, because she never holds back. In a now deleted tweet, Cardi B said, "Why don't you guys post a part where the doctor's office said that's not what happened? And if I assaulted her, why didn't she press charges? Why would I put my hands on someone twice my size, by myself, while I'm experiencing sharp pain 4 months pregnant?" Cardi B said. Now here's the thing, Cardi also pointed out something about the narrative surrounding this case. She claimed people had been trying to push the idea that she uses racial slurs, but she shut it down by saying, "This is the girl who's suing me. She's lighter than me and looks Latin American. Give me a freaking break." So what actually went down? Witnesses who were present at the medical building had a slightly different story. They said Ellis approached Cardi while trying to record her or take photos, something Cardi wasn't okay with, especially since she hadn't revealed her pregnancy yet. According to these witnesses, Cardi simply asked Ellis to stop, and things escalated from there. This moment is a classic example of Cardi B's unapologetic nature when it comes to defending herself. While the lawsuit itself didn't lead to criminal charges, it added another layer to the narrative of Cardi B being at the center of controversy. Whether you believe her or not, this incident highlights the polarizing nature of her fame. People either love her or love to call her out. Now moving on to the next altercation, we're still at number 4 by the way. Let's talk about one of the most infamous moments in Cardi B's career, which is the fight with Nicki Minaj at New York Fashion Week in September 2018. This was a defining moment in their long-standing feud, and it all went down at the Harper's Bazaar Icons party. The drama started when Cardi B confronted Nicki Minaj, allegedly over comments Nicki made about Cardi's parenting. Cardi felt Nicki had been sneak dissing her and spreading negativity, which Cardi was no longer willing to tolerate. According to reports, Cardi was the one who initiated the altercation, approaching Nicki and shouting at her across the room. Things escalated quickly when Cardi tried to physically get to Nicki. During the chaos, Cardi ended up throwing her shoe in Nicki's direction, which missed. Security jumped in to break things up, and that's when it turned into a full-on scuffle. In the process of trying to get close to Nicki, Cardi was elbowed by security, which left her with a visible lump on her forehead. Photos of Cardi leaving the party barefoot, holding her shoe, and with the bump on her head quickly went viral, becoming the iconic image of the night. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj on the other hand stayed calm and composed throughout the chaos, letting her security handle the situation. After the incident, Cardi took to Instagram to defend her actions. In her post, she called out Nicki for liking comments that questioned her parenting and accused her of crossing the line. She wrote, "I let a lot of shit slide, but when you bring up my child, all bets are freaking off." Nicki on the other hand addressed the situation more subtly. During an episode of her Queen radio show, she called the incident humiliating and denied ever talking negatively about Cardi's child, emphasizing that she doesn't need to clown to succeed. This fight was one of the most talked about moments in hip-hop back in 2018, not just because of the chaos itself, but because it cemented the feud between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj as one of the most intense rivalries in recent hip-hop history. Let's move on to another one of Cardi B's controversial moments in relation to assault, the infamous microphone throwing incident in Las Vegas during the summer of 2023, which I actually covered if you might remember. The situation unfolded during a performance at a beach club in Las Vegas. While Cardi was performing, a fan in the audience threw a drink at her, splashing her with liquid. Cardi, who was clearly caught off guard and annoyed, didn't hesitate to respond. Within seconds, she took her microphone and hurled it in the direction of the person who threw the drink. Videos of the incident quickly went viral on social media, sparking heated debates. Some fans praised Cardi B for standing up for herself and calling it a justified reaction, while others criticized her, saying that as a performer, she should have handled the situation differently. What added to the controversy was the fallout. The person Cardi B threw the microphone at filed a police report claiming assault. However, after an investigation, authorities ultimately decided not to press charges against Cardi. Interestingly, the incident also sparked some humor online. Fans pointed out that Cardi's microphone throw was incredibly accurate. Some even joked that she should consider a career in baseball. Now, all jokes aside, Cardi B did face a significant amount of backlash for this incident, and sure, the girl throwing the water at her wasn't right. That disrespect was definitely uncalled for, but for Cardi to retaliate by throwing that heavy-ass microphone at her, a lot of people, myself included, felt like it was overkill, pretty much. And it seems like most people agree with that as well. Now, moving on to number 5 on this list is when Cardi B was caught calling black women roaches on Twitter before she blew up. Back in 2017, this controversy made headlines as old tweets from Cardi resurfaced, where she used the term roaches while clapping back at critics. On his one tweet responding to a black woman who criticized her on Twitter, Cardi B ended up clapping back by saying the following. Actually, let me do it in Cardi B's voice. "I have to search hard. You may pick wow muck. You just ugly. You look like a burnt roach." The backlash was swift, with many pointing out the racial implications of the word, especially when directed at black women. Critics highlighted how the term has historically been used to dehumanize and insult black people, making Cardi's comments even more damaging. Cardi, however, defended herself, claiming that the term wasn't meant to be racial. She explained that she uses roaches as a general insult, regardless of race, and denied having any malicious intent with what she said. As someone of Afro-Latino descent, Cardi argued that her upbringing and environment shaped the way she responds to negativity, though this explanation didn't satisfy everyone. This wasn't the only time Cardi has faced these kind of accusations. Over the years, critics have pointed to other incidents where they felt her behavior or language reflected colorist undertones. However, Cardi has consistently denied these claims, often citing her upbringing and identity as a woman of color from the Bronx. Despite her denials, these controversies have sparked ongoing debates about accountability and the role of public figures in addressing issues of race and representation. Cardi fans argue that she's being unfairly targeted, while others believe these moments show a pattern that shouldn't be ignored. Whether intentional or not, these accusations have added to the complex and often polarizing nature of Cardi B's career, solidifying her as a figure who sparks strong reactions, both good and bad, whenever her name comes up. And this, ladies and gentlemen, okay, is some of the many controversies of Cardi B. There are a lot of other things we could have touched on, like her dysfunctional relationship with Offset. I mean, that's an entire video in itself, but that's kind of more gossip, and I don't really want to jump on that conversation. Or the extensive beef with Nicki Minaj, but I wanted to cover the ones that I was the most interested in and the ones that I, felt like I had something to say about. Anyway, if you made it this far, make sure you drop a like on this video to boost your boy up in the algorithm, okay? And if you're new here, my name is Blacky Speaks. Nice to meet you. Thank you for subscribing. Check out my latest video here or somewhere here, okay? And you let me know in the comment section below what you think about this topic in relation to Cardi B. The many controversies of Cardi B. Cardi B's crazy, man. She's crazy, but I will say Cardi B is very entertaining, okay? For what it's worth. She's a great entertainer, I will say that. What do you guys think was the most controversial one on this list? I'm personally gonna have to go with the first one because that's some crazy stuff. I mean, that's like Diddy stuff right there, but the female version, obviously. But anyway, what you guys think about this topic, you let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. I'm out.